So, I mean, where were we starting with today? Rainbow Shine Bright? Worst marketed toy ever.
Rainbow Shine Bright.
What, did they have a theme song? Does anybody know if they had a theme song? Okay, so we're in the car again, and this time I'm not driving. I'm not like, woo, I'm driving, we're going to die.
I'm actually driving. I'm holding the steering wheel.
No, we're not. We're not going anywhere. We're in a car park. We're on the service stations, on the toll road, on the M6. So there's Norton services. What a lovely place this is. And in the car again is Finn and Lacey. Say hi, Finn and Lacey.
Hello.
And this is Tom.
And this is Mark.
And we've been a little flippant. We're on the way back from another conference. You normally hold that.
I normally hold that. I'll hold that.
You're the microphone stand.
Fine. Okay.
As you can see, we're a little wired. It was a good day yesterday,
Wired,
wasn't
little
it?
tired, little full of beans.
Very, very good event, the London Pearl Workshop. Well done the organisers, well done the sponsors, well done the speakers, well done the volunteers, well done the audience, well done the little tiny things they gave away, well done the cakes and other bakers, well done to absolutely every single part of it. And we had a lot of fun.
It was a great time.
And we drank a lot of beer, so thank you,
a
Martin.
lot of beer. Or cider. Boobs. Bourbon, whiskey,
Alcohol.
anything with percentages. Yes.
So this is the Alcoholics Road Trip, 2017.
The Hangover.
Yeah. So.
This was the Hangover movie that they never showed.
Yes. The Pearl people, the beer community with a Pearl fixation.
Yeah.
Drinkers with a Pearl problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've actually just picked out two questions really quickly because actually two of them are great. We have a plan.
We're way wired.
So we're very wired, and yes. So what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you in a car?
Oh.
That you're legally allowed to tell us. Let's go for that.
We're back to Rainbow Shine Bright now.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in a car? Let's see if anybody else. Weird things that happened to you in a car that you can say.
That you don't mind ending up online permanently.
Oh.
Yeah, so, nothing incriminating, so don't say bank robberies or anything like that.
Yeah,
Bank robbery. No, okay.
Finn would make a terrible bank robber, wouldn't he, really? He'd run in and go, this is a hold, wait a minute. That's grammatically bad and poor. I'm going to go back out and think about the way that I'm coming in next time.
It would at least be entertaining.
And then the next thing, is that some sort of Spanish Inquisition type thing?
See?
Yes.
Worst bank robber ever.
Yeah. However, that's not in a car, so go on then. What's the weirdest thing?
Paint the
Now
window
we've
down
got
a
to
little
think.
bit.
Now we've got to think. We've got some air in here as well now, so we're not going to suffocate.
Right.
Yeah. It's getting steamy in here, so the weirdest thing we've ever done in the car, this podcast.
Yep.
Hotboxing in our own sweat.
Well, that's quite weird. Yeah, okay, that's...
A sauna, but without the sauna.
Yeah, no, not quite.
We used to put on really heavy clothes we can move around.
I'm already wearing a fleece. Nice and warm.
How about you? What's the weirdest thing?
Probably when... The weirdest thing is probably when my mum leant out the window and told some stupid driver to f off.
Okay, mine was...
That was probably the weird... Because my mum, mild-mannered, good, beautiful lady. She's really lovely. And, when she goes, she's just run for cover.
Weirdest thing that ever happened to me in the car was I got the biggest, most tremendous wedgie I've ever had in my life in an accident. So
Right.
It was in a tiny little Ford Fiesta.
Well, your pants...
And the person who was driving got a little distracted and they rear-ended another car.
Okay.
Now, the seats in the Ford Fiesta, they had this seat covering on that was incredibly grippy.
Oh, no.
And it actually gripped my pants, and as we crashed, my body went forward, but my pants actually got caught and stayed still, so literally it wedged me. And my pants gave me an incredible wedgie, so from that I got a little bit of neck ache and groin strain. And and smacked my
Groin
knee and elbow
whiplash.
because
I
I
mean,
had my arm out of the window, so I ran my arm and smacked my elbow and smacked my knee into the dash at the same time. But those were really minor, and they hurt a lot less than the wedgie from hell.
Yeah, okay. Wedgie, yes, my pants were tied to the other car.
Honestly, it was bad. It actually made me bleed underneath the groin, between the groin and the sort of bum, that part there. It actually cut in that tight. So there you go. The weirdest thing that ever happened to you in a car was the worst wedgie ever. It was the worst wedgie ever.
That's quite horrid.
And I have never told anybody about that, but now I've told everyone about that.
Everybody knows.
I had a massive wedgie. My testicles went around the wedgie and smacked into each other like conkers.
So,
ouch.
So your testicle did a Newton's cradle. Okay.
I might, yeah. Doing, doing, doing,
Testicle cradle. Not what you think it is.
Also, not a toy for children.
Really
we had the worst toys ever. So the rainbow shite bright and the testicle cradle.
See, I still think the rainbow shite bright sounds like some sort of weird anal butt plug.
There are things about Finn we need to discuss when we're off air.
Yes.
With Finn's mother.
However,
She'll just laugh.
She'll just laugh and go, yeah, it's over here. The rainbow shite bright. When she sees this, I'm dead. I'm so dead.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, it's Finn's. He's probably wearing it now.
He's wearing his mother? Wait, what?
What? No, the rainbow shite.
Oh, right. We're not going to be able to call this rainbow shite bright.
No.
Not only are we going to get bounced by Twitter again, but we're going to get sued by Mattel.
Yeah.
Or whoever makes it. I'm pretty sure it's Mattel. They own everything, don't they?
Toys for big kids.
Hasbro, probably.
And that's, Hasbro and Mattel are now going to be joined, aren't they? Making the biggest toy company ever.
Yes.
While
Right.
Toys R Us dies.
Yeah. Well,
Amazon death.
yeah.
So, am I winning on this?
On the weirdest
Because of
wedgie.
my Newton's cradle testicle ching balls. That's the worst wedgie ever.
Yes. Okay. So,
And now I've thought of one when I was a teenager. So, 17, in the backseat of a friend's car with my boyfriend, and we're in the backwoods in Oregon late at night, and
Does this end with the guy with the chainsaw?
no.
Thank fuck for that.
So deer hops out in front of us, and he manages to put the car in a spin and whack the deer with the back of the car, the bumper.
So he sort of sideswipes the deer instead of going full onto it. Excellent.
No, he purposefully did that.
Okay, handbrake skid into a deer.
okay.
Yes, that's pretty much exactly what he did. He whipped around, and I get like smushed and bounced around in the back, and the back bumper hit the deer and knocked it over into a ditch, and then we had to hop out and help him put the deer in the back of the car. So that he can go.
However, the deer wasn't dead, so that is the deer sat in the back of the car going, what the hell's going on here?
So they were driving.
I just got hit by that thing.
Spot dinner.
Yes, no. He had recently lost the gun ownership privilege for a bit.
So he thought, I'll use my car.
Yes, he did.
Oh, thank God he wasn't a fisherman. You could have all drowned.
Oh, God.
I had to drive my car and the goddamn fish. That'll get him.
What was he using the gun fishing for?
Well, you got to be sporting.
What was he using
sporting
it
about
12
this.
for? Cop.
Crossbow and a goldfish bow.
Yeah, no. It's actually very bad to use a gun for, and terribly ineffective to use a gun fishing.
Dynamite's much better.
Yes.
Dynamite is much better. Yes.
Yes, it
Sweaty
is.
dynamite. You chuck it in and all the fish jump out. With some of the water.
So we've got sideswiping a deer and the ultimate wedgie.
Yep.
Yes.
The ultimate deer wedgie. You know?
Some weird, bizarre instruction recipe. So when you're sideswiping your deer, you don't want to be in a worse wedgie ever. Because those balls go right on up there. The deer sees that. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that at all.
Nope.
That's not good eats.
You know, he should have actually had a pickup truck, a double cab pickup truck, because then he could have hit the deer and knocked it into the back. And you guys
All
would
in
have had
one
to
go.
lift the dead deer into the back of the car.
All in one go, done. Yeah.
He just wasn't thinking ahead.
No,
He
but
needed to
all-
change his
but
car
all-
when he lost his gun.
But all we could afford at 16 and 17 were older cars, so this was like a 1980 something Toyota Corolla.
So he's a 9mm Toyota Corolla that he went deer hunting with.
Yes.
I got my 9mm Toyota Corolla.
Thump. I'm actually surprised. That the
Well,
car
he might
didn't
have lost
come
his gun license, but I hope he still had his hunting license. Because that shit would have been really illegal otherwise. Always hunt with a hunting license if you're killing deer with your car.
Yes. Well, you said I shouldn't confess to anything that I've did that was illegal.
But other people, yeah,
That's
so
absolutely fair. Well done.
Because
So,
it's easy to
we
watch
know
over
who you
because
are.
It was an accident. I accidentally swerved and hit them straight into the ditch. and
Yeah,
beat them.
well, there's laws against picking up roadkill.
And the Deer
that.
Preservation League want you to know the deer was delicious.
Yes, the Deer Preservation League gave us great tips on making deer jerky.
Deer jerky is delicious. Venison jerky, ooh, nice.
Now that sounds really tasty.
Goes well with your Bambi burger. Bambi's mum!
Mama's not coming home tonight.
Bambi would have been different if it's like Bambi and Cars mixed. It's a new Disney film. You get Bambi, you put Cars in there. Owen Wilson can do the voice. Oh, hi everyone, this is Captain Mater going on going, oh, I got another deer. Tomato. Wildlife bouncing off the front of it.
Yeah.
So, next question, Tom.
Next question. Okay. Let's stick with the randomness. Have you ever had a practical joke go bad?
Oh, yeah. I mean, practical jokes generally go bad, actually. My experience of them are, they can be really, really good, or they can be really, really awful.
Yeah.
So once my mum got taken out by a couple of practical jokes that were brilliant, and my brother got one of his friends from school, who looked really old, to ring up my mum back in the days of the old circular phones. He had to hold up an actual handset and ring her up to run a competition. And could they come round and, conduct the survey so she'd be given this prize? And she went, yeah, she was really excited. And so they faked a sheet, and he wore his suit, he wore his dad's suit, and he came round and he was interviewing him, and my mum went, what did you say the name of the magazine was again? And he said, he said something like, Woman's Monthly. And she went, I don't get that magazine. How did I win that competition? At which point he went, which magazine do you get? She went, wait a minute, why are you asking me which magazine I get? And that's when she twigged that it was a joke. And that was really well done. And my brother's also rung my mum up for pizza at 4 o'clock in the morning. And just ordered a pizza, then put the phone down. But she got her own back because she rang him back an hour later and said, what was your address again? So that was really good. But yeah, when I was a teenager, a friend of mine cooked up this great plan. He thought we used to walk some people back, and it was like a group of guys and a group of girls. We went to a club. We used to walk the girls back home, and he cooked up this plan of going ahead and jumping out of a wall and grabbing somebody.
Right.
And I was a bit unsure about it, and to my regret, what went wrong was I didn't tell them, and I should have, because when he jumped out, he scared the living crap out of everyone.
Right.
And I mean, really scared them, so the tears and people completely
not so
wigged
good,
out. It was not good. And I have regretted that ever since.
Jump scares like that, they can be done well, and
But done well is you sort of go, where's he gone?
Yeah.
I think he's up ahead somewhere, rather than I don't know he's gone home. So they're not even expecting it at all. They think he's gone home.
Right. Oh dear.
So that was bad.
Yeah.
There you go, practical joke gone wrong.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I'd say definitely the most entertaining one that I was part of, which was actually a story of ups and downs, was I was in Germany at the time and with my best friend Mirko, and I believe we were 17.
That was my Red Bull, not his butt plug.
And a friend of ours, Andre, he was at this sort of scout camp thing. And we thought, oh, I know, we can sabotage their scout camp somehow in ridiculous ways, because there's generally this tradition of things, for example, other camps stealing their signs or things like that.
Yeah.
So the first time we tried to do this with my friend driving, during the night we tried to find the place where they actually were, but due to a small typo in the GPS, we went to several places looking around to no avail, looking completely stupid to ourselves, not finding anywhere. Eventually, we went to sleep for a while, and then the next morning, early morning, we'd actually figured out the place where it was. So in this very early morning, where people were still just about sleeping, we found the place, went in. It was pissing it down with rain, but we managed it anyway. And we grabbed the sign of the camp. We sort of snuck out with it, and then we later sort of took a picture of ourselves holding the sign up. Had some sort of celebratory beers, and then later in the next morning was outside the camp, blasting out music and going, "Hey, wondering where your sign is," which was then made more entertaining for when we went up to the camp. We chatted with the camp leader, who was fun, and going, ah, ha, ha. And in the time that we were basically having breakfast with them, because they were having a sort of shared breakfast and we went along, the camp leader had unscrewed the license plate off my friend's car and gone, we'll have the sign back, you can have your license plate back. So that got traded in hilarity, and then we eventually went back.
Yes,
it was just very entertaining all around, and totally worth it.
No, knowing a few scout leaders, it's definitely you can't pull a fast one on them most of the time, because they've been there. They've been running camps with a large number of boys and girls that all just want to play tricks on each other.
Yeah, what we learned was keep the car and such further away when no one can find it easily.
Yeah.
I can't think of any that have gone horribly wrong, but I don't do many practical jokes. That's the unfortunate thing. You know,
I also know a friend of mine. His dad worked at a company that did a lot with aluminium, and they had Mercury on site, and they thought it'd be really funny to fill up the frame of somebody's motorbike with Mercury.
Oh no!
And so they filled it up, and then suddenly it went poof, and the wheels blew out, the tyres blew out, and it cracked in half, and mercury spilled everywhere. They had a mercury spill. That wasn't very good. That was a practical joke that went badly wrong, ended in a mercury spill and hazardous waste cleanup.
Yay!
So yeah, not so good.
Was that an aluminium frame as well on the bike?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I mean, if you've seen there's that video recently of Mercury on aluminium as an amalgam, and it actually makes this weird pyramid of stuff, which is actually Mercury.
Of course, it's following the shape, of course. So
it actually makes a pillar up, and it's because of the aluminium and mercury reacting together, making a compound, and then that's obviously really brittle. It's really, really interesting. It's really difficult
probably
to trigger.
why it broke, because it would have made it into an amalgam.
It literally degrades it. It's one of those things.
I didn't. There we go. For years I've been wondering why it cracked, and it might have been a break or a seal.
It could also have been a weak seam, but if it was very sudden. But,
it wasn't sudden. They were slowly pouring in a lot of mercury.
If it happened after like a couple of hours, then it's probably the amalgam formed.
I don't know how long it took to break. I just know the story that it broke.
Okay, well,
and then they had a hazardous waste cleanup.
Yeah, which is don't mess around with mercury. It's really not nice.
But my brother has always been very good at practical jokes. I don't know about a practical joke gone wrong. It was a practical joke gone brilliant.
Yeah.
So we were in a small truck. It's about a 7-ton truck. He's a heavy goods vehicle driver. And I went along with him to keep him awake, because we had to go a very long distance and come back again. And so he wanted somebody to just be entertaining. And we were in Scotland. It'd been raining, but it'd gone dry. And we stopped at a chippy in a small town. And to explain the scene of where the truck stopped, there was a bus stop, and then a very, very long sort of long piece where cars could park, and car parking, and it was all rough and pitted because, of course, this is a bus stop in the middle of a small town in Scotland. It's not really well tarmacked at the side of the road.
Yeah.
So there are lots of puddles. So I'm hopping over puddles. I go to the clipping, I get the fish and chips, and I come back, and I put my foot on the step. I threw the clips in, put my foot on the step, hand on the handle. So what does my brother do? Well, he puts his foot on the accelerator. At which point, the clever thing would be let go of the handle. That's all I had to do. I did not let go of the handle. What I did instead was run like this, holding onto a handle of the truck for about 10 feet until he put his foot on the brake. At which point I smacked into the door, over, and landed back into a puddle with a whole line of people at the bus stop who applauded. I was piss soaking wet through, and my brother was laughing so much I thought he would have a heart attack. he was crying with laughter, and he's just looking at me and going, "That was the funniest thing in my life ever." And I'm like, "Yeah, funny, yeah, funny, yeah."
I am now muddy, and I'm going to get in your van.
Yeah, but it wasn't his van. He didn't own it, so he didn't give crap.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was wet, I was cold, but I had chips.
The American judge gives you an 8.5. You just didn't stick the landing.
I didn't stick the landing. I totally screwed up the landing. Had I flipped around the door and then got in the truck and gone, ha ha, it would have been fine.
He'd then have pushed you back out again. But
He'd have pushed me back out into the puddle.
But yeah.
Okay, next question.
Next question. So I think the last one is, let's go for a slightly different subject. What would be put inside a mental health first aid kit?
So that's actually a big problem in that you couldn't put anything really level of drugs because there's so many different drugs that you need in terms of mental health.
Yeah.
I would say a practical sheet listing common disorders and their immediate treatments. Really just so you could maybe identify what the issue was.
Yeah.
Something to help calm people down. I'm really, depending on different people, it's different things, but really something, if somebody's really sort of really tense and uptight, maybe grinding their teeth, something for them to bite on. So you can get a lot of cues that you get them for autistic children and other people so they can bite on something really hard, and that often eases a lot of tension.
Yeah.
I don't know, after that, maybe a blanket.
Yeah.
And one of the weighted blankets, because weighted blankets are very, very
really
good
nice.
because it makes you feel calm because there's a weight holding you down.
Yeah.
This is suddenly a very heavy first aid kit.
An emergency phone.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. Emergency.
So that you can dial for help, and
Yeah.
water, because if the person's really, really fretting, give them water because they're going to need that, and that's about it really. There's little else you put in mental health toolkit that I can think of. Anybody else?
That's definitely. I mean, the big thing here is whether it's a mental health toolkit that's first aid kit that is something that's like on the side in a bar or something like that, like a normal first aid kit would be, or if this is something. I actually wonder if this is sort of something that if you have mental health issues,
then you'd have
you
your
carry with you a
you'd have
small
your own
one.
personal, say maybe your medication and some way of identifying what your problem is.
Yeah,
like
a little help
like
sheet,
the
possibly.
bracelet or a help sheet.
Yeah.
But I think what you'd actually have is these two things. If you say it's a mental health toolkit, it's going to be something that you put in a bar. Maybe we should actually have that. Would that be a bad thing to have? I don't think it would be a bad thing. You're in a bar. Think about it. People do get stressed and anxious. Anxiety attacks can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Having a comfort blanket, the security blanket, I forget the name of them, but they are weighted blankets.
Yeah, they're
very, very good. And they make you feel very comforting very quickly. They're usually very soft. They're natural materials, often Egyptian cotton if you can afford it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the actual material is. It's almost like a Kevlar blanket. I can't remember the material, but it's really.
But they
heavy.
they usually have weighted material at the bottom of them.
Yeah.
Like Kevlar, usually porcelain balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great thing to have. Something, and as I say, the sheet that actually says if a person is having a wig out, the worst thing you can do is shout at them or grab them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the thing you have to remember to do is it's like gently guiding somebody. It's the same thing you do with somebody who's blind and they ask you to help them across the road. You don't grab hold of them, you give them an arm to hold on to.
Yeah.
So the same way if somebody's having a lot of issues, don't grab them. You can actually put your hand gently on the shoulder or on the elbow, because you're touching an elbow on the shoulder, you're completely fine and going, no, you're okay. And help guiding them to a seat so that they sit down, because they'll be better if they're sitting down.
Yeah.
Again, not forcing people, and actually having a sheet that says, do not force. Talk calmly, repeat yourself calmly. And at all times try to make sure that you get a medical health professional to help you, because for God's sake, don't think that you're a doctor in terms of mental health. It's extremely specialised.
I mean, that's one thing to make sure you put in is definitely a a set of contact numbers that you could at least call.
Yes.
Contact numbers, emergency call numbers. As I say, I'd put a phone in that would have just like 3 buttons, and there would be emergency dial buttons. You go click, button, press, and it rings the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously most people carry a mobile phone these days, but then having the numbers there as well would be good.
But yeah, you've got the advice line. If you think if it's a mild anxiety attack, the emergency line, which is for medical, that you need a nearby paramedic, or the oh my god emergency line. That's all emergency services. Something really bad is happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's all you need is quick dial buttons.
Yeah. So basically, blanket, water, and be kind.
Be kind.
That's actually
a nice sheet of the steps to be. Remember to be kind. Remember to be calm. Don't get yourself stressed. Try not to raise your voice. Even if they're raising their voice, it does not help if you raise your voice. All you can do is calmly repeat yourself and hope that helps.
Yeah.
I'd also imagine something maybe such as sheets of paper and various ways of sort of writing or drawing on it.
Some way of communicating, So
either as communication or just for us to cool down.
Yeah, and you can get the like the triangular crayons, which are very, very easy to hold if you're panicked. Because if they're not able to communicate with you and say what's wrong, they might be able to write what's wrong or draw something.
Yeah, or they're just needing to do something, and because in the sense of a toolkit, that's a personal one.
Indeed.
You can go and there we go.
And often, a lot of the time, somebody is having an issue that's that they're having some kind of mental trauma. Communication is the first thing they lose.
Yeah.
And the ability to communicate what's happening is one of the first things they lose. So having different methods whereby they can communicate or just feel calmed in the level of communication is a good thing to have.
Yeah. I think something else that might not be a bad idea to put in them is stuff like these.
Fidget toy.
Oh, fidget toy.
A fidget toy, because if they're anxious, having something that they can
focus
grip
on
and just the person that's there tapping their foot because they're having a slight Wigout session, having something else as well to just help them concentrate on it always helps.
So what
wish
do we
they
call
designed
this,
the
by the way?
They make so much noise. It's very irritating.
Interesting. What should we call this episode? Is it going to be the Rainbow Wigout session?
The Rainbow Wigout Wedgie.
I like it. The Rainbow Wigout Wedgie.
The Rainbow Wigout Wedgie. So this has been the Rainbow Wigout Wedgie. He's been Tom.
He's been Mark.
That's Finn.
That's Lacey.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.